going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You watch the Tom O'Brien Show. We just had the Fed meetings. Fed pause, foreseeable time. Some interesting comments that Powell had made during the meeting that at least that I thought were interesting. I thought was actually kind of good overall. He had employment not a meaningful source of inflation. Economy is extremely strong. Good unemployment. He also said that we don't need to wait for that 2% target to cut rates if they see it fit. Did a very good job of trying not to speak on potential impacts of tariffs, which I think would probably have really moved the market. He did say something that was a little bit interesting. What time was that around? Maybe like 3:07 or something like that. And the guy asked him, what do you think about the equities being at these levels, right? And he says, I would say at least, this is kind of how I would summarize it. He says essentially that some equities are at an elevated level for sure, mainly referring to like AI and tech, which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't see any major move from anything after that comment. In fact, at least in the SPY or the SPX itself, massive bar to the upside on that comment. Now, of course, you're looking at bars as if they're a direct correlation between his comments and its movement. It's not obviously the case, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Of course, you have a lot of your AI tech down today. Give me one moment there, folks. Excuse me for that. Okay, so let's take a look right now. You have the SPY off about 0.2% at 603.47. So some nice movement to the upside, at least over the day. Of course, you're trading down right now. You have the composite off about 0.33% at 19,669. You have the Dow Jones Industrial basically flat at 44,845. Definitely been the most resilient, at least over the past few trading sessions in regards to the rest of the indices. Russell off about 0.15% at 2,295. And you get that dollar at 107.94, trading a little bit to the upside at 0.06%. I want to get Teddy Keckstad on. If you guys aren't familiar with Teddy Keckstad, he has a fantastic newsletter on TFNN.com. Tommy has him on every Wednesday. I really recommend checking out the segment we have up on our YouTube channel, the Tiger Financial News Network. But his newsletter is the Tiger Forex Report. Basically just great on commodities, really great on currency pairing. I read his report every Monday, every time I've interviewed him, if I've been filling in for Tommy, I've really left feeling a lot more informed than I was prior. But I want to get him on and kind of talk a little bit about the yen carry trade blowing up as well, which I think a lot of people aren't talking about. But I know when that happened maybe sometime last year or the year prior, the market suffered very heavily. Now, of course, DeepSeek, is there. And plays a major role. And I think there are some, this is of course forcing some larger banks to discuss kind of what's going on with DeepSeek and how that impacts the rest of the market. But I wonder as well how much of the yen carry trade blowing up is contributing to that. We take a look at least at Nvidia today. That had basically what operated as like an exit liquidity almost yesterday for people. Now, decent candle look, right? You're lower for the day, but you're making some highs. You're not overshooting any kind of recovery here. What essentially happened is Trump comes out and he says, we are looking at stricter export controls to China. Now, they were able to sell China weaker GPUs, let's say like H800, which is fine. I still personally believe they had H100s, and I think there's a lot of good sources for that. They definitely, at least some Chinese nationals, had H200s as well. A lot of videos circulating of some of these factory owners basically flexing that. Right now, of course, this is online. You have to be very careful of what you're seeing. They're obviously skirting these export controls without a doubt, even if they majority used H800. I have a friend who does work in AI like app development basically, and so I actually talked to him about like what he thought all about DeepSeek, and he said one of the things, like even if they do have like the H100s, H200s, it's not really that big of a deal, because what a lot of these guys have figured out is with the even some low kind of tech like H800, you can more mess with the software almost, or kind of edit the software. It's still legal. You're not jailbreaking anything. It's just the way you deploy it, and you can get a lot better efficiency out of those GPUs. So NVIDIA is kind of shipping these big GPUs, and they're not as efficient as they could be. It's about how you're utilizing the CUDA architecture within it. And of course, Jensen Huang did allude to that, right? And that was a big argument I had with the photonics kind of angle. Now, I still do think probably at the end of the day, photonics will be something that chips are going to use. I just think this gets pushed out a little bit with kind of the revelations that come out of DeepSeek and what they did. Now, let's say that they increase these export controls and you don't get any chips going to China. I believe as well, the Trump administration will try to figure out how the heck they're getting them in. And there's a lot of suspicion that they're coming through Singapore. And I think something that's very important to recognize is that it contributes to, like, what, 17 to 20% of NVIDIA's revenue. If NVIDIA is barred from, let's say, they can only sell within North America and maybe some European allies, NVIDIA can, be in some trouble. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Before we went to the break, we're talking about some potential implications that the Trump administration's, I don't know, I guess foreign policy or foreign economic policy might have on NVIDIA. I really don't I'm not interested in NVIDIA. I haven't been for a long time. I know some of these banks have higher kind of price targets, and that's fine for me, but I just think the GPUs are kind of just not the wave. Now, of course, this will still be relevant for a very long time to come, but I'm really more interested in these kind of like specific application chips, the ASICs that you might get from, groups like Broadcom. I think that's very interesting to me. I do think that such a large portion of revenue going to Singapore is somewhat of a risk for NVIDIA. I also don't think they're going to continue to grow at the levels, and honestly, this correction is what I would call it. I think you'll still kind of see something, at least over time, is going to go down. I'm neutral on the whole thing. I would not say sell it if you have it or buy it if you don't. It's just not something I'm interested in right now because I do think there will be better options in the future that are not kind of realized yet. Look at Microsoft. You have Meta coming out. You have Tesla after hours as well. ASML came out and said, hey, I mean, things look good. The DeepSeek is going to drive demand for these chips, which is fine. ASML is such a weird company itself. Again, that's one I don't really own. I mean, they sell the lithography machines, and that's kind of difficult because how many, do you have? I think the equivalent I gave was, I don't know, we're going to grow this new crop, and the guy who sells the tractors in the beginning is obviously going to do the best, but at some certain point, everyone has tractors, so we need to start getting them to work. And ASML, still did quite well. It's just not something I think is super attractive. Now, companies that are going to use AI, right, to generate revenue are definitely going to win in this. So, I mean, this is going to be Microsoft. Microsoft actually just integrated DeepSeek, it seems like. So, after their partners over to OpenAI, if you're not aware, OpenAI claimed that, yes, DeepSeek did steal from them. It's not very clear why they think that. I don't know. We'll see. This is getting to a point now where it's like you have hundreds of billions of dollars on the line, so you need to come up with something real quick, so you don't get completely screwed by it. We'll see kind of what happens. I think Microsoft is going to be fine. They're expanding out. Cloud is going to be growing. Integration of AI is going to be growing. That's going to drive capital for them. I like Microsoft. They're a legit company, obviously, and Meta as well. What I'm more interested in with Meta, and this equity has done exceptionally well over time. You're trading up 0.82% today at 679.72. He obviously wants to bring AI to all of his people, right? Meaning everyone who uses his platforms. Llama is a pretty dominant AI language model. What I'm interested about and what I've been saying for a while with Meta, at least the past few days, by past few days I mean since Monday with DeepSeek, is I want to see what their capex is, right? So we pledged something like around $60 billion to build out the data centers. Everyone is now saying we don't need data centers that big. I think really they don't know one way or the other, so we need to wait for the people who are kind of right in that realm and at the forefront to decide what they're going to do. Now, if they cut capex for data centers, then you have issues in things like SMCI, you have issues in things maybe like Dell, and certainly TSSI, which has been getting absolutely hammered, unfortunately. So I'm looking forward to that. I do personally think that the data centers will still need to be big. The fact that you can run these models more efficiently, and again, like efficiency is going to continue to happen. And when you get more efficient, you lower the barrier to entry for a lot of different people to come in and either develop their own AI or use AI or whatever it may be. You get different kind of tranches of AI you could sell to people, and that's great. I don't think we're at the cap of AI utilization right now. So I don't necessarily get the idea that this lowers the demand for data centers, for chips, all that kind of deal, right? And again, keep in mind, I mean, these efficiencies will continue to occur, right? Right now, people are just applying concepts that have existed for a long time. I mean, what DeepSeek did with, MOE is not some novel concept. I mean, this is written about like in the 90s, right? And they're just kind of the first to like really start applying it in a meaningful way. And it's beautiful, it's brilliant. I think it's great. And these efficiencies will continue to happen, but it doesn't, it doesn't erode the value of the platform. Folks, stay right there, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, you watch the Tom O'Brien Show. Like we talked about Meta before we went to the break, and really we were talking about do data centers need to be this big? Another argument I've been hearing going around as well, in basically against data centers, is that you can run some of these really distilled models on your personal device. That just doesn't matter at all. I mean, it does matter in the sense, like if you're going to, like if Apple's going to add some distilled, model like native into their phone or computer. I mean, that's great, but think about it. I mean, everything is cloud. Nothing's on these computers anymore. So, I mean, the fact that you can run it on a computer, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily mean anything at all, because we've been moving away from locally stored applications for the past, decade or something, and that will continue to happen as well. I think even have Microsoft, if I remember correctly, is selling like a computer that just has cloud access. You can't put anything else on it, right? And it's a smart idea. I mean, they're cheaper than kind of computers, and everything's on the cloud anyway, so what's the point? But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Meta does with that CapEx. Now the problem is let's say they do keep it at this level, and maybe that is the correct thing to do on the horizon, but you get all these people who are like, well, I actually don't like that CapEx spending because I don't think, et cetera. What I learned from these past few days, like on reading things on Twitter and listening to talking heads or whatever it might be, or analyst predictions, is that people don't know. Like the DeepSeek, like the amount of things, and I've been reading a lot, asking my friends who are in AI, actually like are in the industry and know these things. And I mean, I just realized that not a lot of people know what's going on with that at all, but they still make comments on it, which is interesting. And I think you could run into that as well, let's say if Meta keeps the same CapEx. Speaking with Apple too, I don't know if they will do something like that. I don't know if that's how they're gonna decide to integrate it. It doesn't seem like they've made any big headways. I know they tried to add, quote, AI to Siri, and I haven't heard anything positive about that. I use a very, very old iPhone, and I do not update the iOS unless there's a major security patch. But I will say, I believe they have earnings on Thursday, if I remember correctly. I'll check that out in a moment here. But like, one of my big things is like they don't have anything new, right? One of the things I was kind of suggesting is, hey, maybe they're working with GSAT to build low Earth orbit, and you can now use satellite calling, and that might be a driver for more purchases, just because they don't have anything new. And I saw this on LinkedIn, and I mean, why are we spending money on this for Genmoji it? So that's how they're going to utilize AI on iPhone. And now I'm being funny when I say this, but that makes me just want to like short it. But anyways, let's move on a little bit, obviously, to something a little bit more pressing since Apple's tomorrow. We have Tesla. Okay. I have been racking my brain all day. If you've been in the den, which I strongly recommend you getting into the den, again, you can go to TFNN.com, just go to the services tab, get this service. It is $1. If you want to know how it works, we have a step-by-step. It is extremely straightforward. And we're all in there talking all day. We got people right now posting some of their positions. We have other people asking questions, talking about different concepts. And if you've been in the den, you've probably seen me being like, man, I want to short Tesla and I don't know. I'm kind of more talking to myself with this. But it helps to discuss ideas out. You're trading off about 2.23% right now, 389. You've had some pretty, significant movement to the downside, at least over the past few sessions there, about 7 sessions. Trading at 388.86 from a high of 488. Now, some of these movements to the upside were positive. Their margins were getting better, all this kind of stuff, right? My instincts are telling me, and this isn't just vibes based. I mean, I keep up with this company and what they do and kind of the general sentiment, wants to short this thing. And I think that's always a tough idea because you've kind of seen everything since, let's say, this gap down in October, you would have been in a really, really bad situation. So what catalyst do we have, at least in the way to the upside for Tesla, right? What could he possibly do that would move this stock, right? Because even if you have like abysmal earnings or whatever, he can come out and say, we're going to go develop a black hole and extract resources from Martian soil, and some people will probably be like, okay, yeah, right on. And he's like, we're gonna do it in the next 3 years. This is kind of the issue I think he's actually boxed himself into, because you can run the Optimus thing, right, with these kind of robots, the anthropomorphic robots. You can do robo-taxi. You can refurbish all of your old models that people love. But I think at some certain point, you kind of run out of things. It's like a boy who cried wolf kind of deal, right? Like how many times has he leveraged basically robo-taxi, and the time, to release keeps getting pushed out. And it's the same thing with the Optimus. I mean, the Optimus is nothing. That was such a unfortunate kind of display, right? The big event they had, where it's quite clear that it was people in those robots. Just kind of crazy. I still watch those videos sometimes. And listen, I am not a Musk hater. I'm not a Musk lover. I don't feel either way towards the guy. I think he's done great things with SpaceX. I mean, it's obviously extraordinarily fascinating. He really pushed EVs to the forefront. He pushed full self-driving to the forefront. So don't get me wrong here and like, I want him to fail. I don't. But I don't see what it is that would propel this thing forward. Like I said, he's already utilized his things that would save you on forward guidance. In my opinion, he has. You miss production, you miss delivery. The Model Y did well in China this month, selling I think about 73,000 units so far. 73,400 is reported number as of January 15th. I believe in December They sold around 80,000 cars in China, so you're getting close, halfway through the month. Who knows how much has been sold in the past 14 days. So, that I think could be an argument for him. Like, hey, listen, like people love these Model Ys and our margins are getting better on these things. We're going to have a good year, I think. Now, again, something else opposed to this is Trump getting rid of the EV credit, I think is massive. So you can see what I'm getting at, where I'm in this analysis paralysis a little bit with Tesla. I almost just want to see what the earnings are and what tomorrow brings. If it is such a massive gap down, you get into a leverage long ETF. You can do TSLL. It'll be cheaper at that point. That's almost where I'm at right now. We're getting to 350 right now, where I kind of have to make a decision. And I'm still on the fence. And it's so weird with this stock, right? Because it does not follow fundamentals and it hasn't traditionally followed those. So kind of interesting, this is like, these are, I think, these pivotal moments in like trading journeys, right? Like development of myself as a trader. I'm sure you guys can resonate with that as well, where it's like, we're going to learn a lot tomorrow at least. So I don't know. I think it's tough. I think the market's kind of in a weird situation. Nvidia coming down is definitely a shakeup, right? I believe, let's see what AVGO is doing today. You're off only like a percent point. Man, what a gap down. We'll see if we can actually gain some stuff through there. I think we got to figure out kind of what these guys report today, and we'll see. All right, folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee.
Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
What's going on, everyone? Jacob Shoup, Tom O'Brien Show. We got a little segment here. Man, there's like plenty of news we can just kind of talk about. And we just got a short little thing here. I mean, the Biden administration vehicle fuel economy standards is kind of nuts. How much that impacts our EV companies, kind of hard to say. Let's talk a little bit, I guess, about Globalstar, because we were talking about them a while ago. Their CEO was doing a bunch of insider buying. I mean, it was crazy. Now, this is a massive gap down. Okay, you're off 17.8% today, still trading right about $3 billion valuation. What was the whole deal with this? Well, what was kind of interesting, again, that he was buying so much, right? And they had this deal with Apple. We're talking about Apple potentially trying to utilize SAT calling as a standard on their device. We saw them allow that for everyone during the hurricanes. In fact, I personally think that would, I like to think I'm resistant to marketing, but that would actually probably work on me. I would love if my phone had just a default capability like that, especially with low Earth orbit. Not a big deal, right? As far as like latency is concerned. However, it came out that Apple is going to work with SpaceX, okay, to throw these things up, and so GSAT gets slaughtered because that's kind of just GSAT's angle, right? So that's kind of unfortunate for GSAT. I don't really know how you pivot back from that for them. And then you have Planet Labs trading up 1.37%. Wow, quite a volatile day, a lot of big volume. This thing had been getting speculated on quite a bit. They land $230 million contract for Pelican imagery satellites. This was one they popped up a little while ago because they were taking pictures of like the forest for the Europeans to determine some kind of thing with climate change, which, fine enough. But they are trading up 1.37% today, but you can tell there is a lot of sellers in Planet Labs. Folks, thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, if you have some option plays for earnings, I wish you the best of luck. We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, and we are going to go over all of it. Join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien for the Morning Market Kickoff. Take care.